Hi, I'm Lindsay Joyce,
And I'm Tomek Gil.
and we're the husband-wife duo of 3F Living, an architecture and interior design firm here in New York City. We help our clients from the initial design to move-in day, and on this week's episode, we're going to be talking about contractors, walkthroughs, and all the things. So in the last episode, we talked about photorealistic renderings and how that really helps our clients make informed decisions on what they like, what they don't like, about any particular room that we're rendering and designing. On this episode, we are only going to focus in on the entry, just in efforts to not make this a very lengthy episode because there's a lot of rooms. But through the renderings, it also helps us and helps the contractor through the bidding process pretty significantly. It allows them to show like their tile installer, like where is the tile located? How are we cutting it off? Where is it terminating? Where are the materials meeting? And all of that helps to make an informed decision on a more accurate bid from the contractors.
And it also informs the constructability of the project. If a hanging cabinet, for example, is different than one that's sitting on the floor because the wall that it's hanging on has to be reinforced.
Right.
So it has a kind of trickle effect into the constructability of what we're looking at.
So with that being said, I just wanted to quickly talk about the FF&E binder, which is the fixtures, the finishes, and equipment that we have on the job. And again, we're only focusing in on the entryway, but in a standard job, we would have this exact binder for every room and every designed detailed space throughout the project, again, to send to the contractor as part of the bid package. So this is the entry images, same thing that you saw the last time. We had two of them of the entryway at first approach, and then as you're looking into that entryway. This gets into more detail, right? So it goes from the different materials that are applied in that area. So here we're talking about the floor tile. And so we identify the location, we identify the make, the model, the manufacturer, the color, the finish, the size, the pattern, and we even provide a direct link when it's PDF'd so the contractor can easily just click on that link and go directly to the manufacturer's website to find any additional information they may need, specifically when it comes to large format tiling, which we do have in our entryway. And so then once you see the big picture and you see the specifications on what you're talking about, for example, the entry floor tile, then the next image goes into the detail of what that floor tile looks like, again with a direct link. So it always goes from detailed information, description, to the image itself, and then where it's located. That is for the floor tile. It then moves into the wall tile, which is exactly the same formatting, going through the make and model with the link out to where that's located with additional details. It also goes into lighting. Lighting is also in here, which are these canisters that we have. And so I did make a note, which was really interesting, that Tomek had in looking at what we had for the rendering. He said, why do separate little clusters of it? We should put them all together in one little cluster of individual ones kind of coming down so that it looks more like a chandelier. And I thought that was such a great idea. So I actually, instead of going back and changing the rendering, because again, the bidding process happens so quickly that sometimes we can keep it at 90% accuracy and then just make edits on the description of what we want to change. So in here, when I wrote in the description, for example, I wrote in here for the pattern cluster, a cluster random effect with the sizes of what we would go with. And then it goes into the millwork, which is also another aspect to the entryway. One thing that Tomek brought up, which I thought was a really great point, again, from the renderings, it spiked this conversation, was to, instead of, it was a little too traditional to have this kind of broken up into two panels, he felt that maybe we just bring it all the way down with the rattan hexagon weave pattern. Again, we didn't change the rendering, but we were able to say full length of door insert, request shop drawings. The shop drawings is like another level to the millwork, and that's like something that we had already discussed in a previous episode. But really, what we do is design intent on like the 90% of what we want it to look like, and then the millworker is going to come in with that 10% and be like, you know what, this will work better, this will be more functional. Sure. That's why shop drawings are so important, and that's why we note them here, because we want the contractor to know when he's bidding that we expect shop drawings, because not everybody does shop drawings, but we expect them specifically when it comes to these items. And now, so that's why we put it there. Very often the mill worker will take our design intent and through the shop drawing process, really kind of brings the idea to life. But given that we are presenting these renderings so early on in the process, we eliminate a lot of the back and forth with the mill workers. And, and then the last piece of a decorative item that should be identified is the inlaid bronze specialty colored mirror that's a full length. Now, I did say underneath size here, I said custom size insert into wall tile, TBD. So to be determined. So really what it means is, hey, contractor, we're looking to maybe recess, flush this tile or this mirror inside the tile. We don't quite know the size, and we don't know exactly how that's getting fabricated, but I want you to account for an allowance for that. And so that's really what that means. We know the size of the wall, so we know the mirror can't be past a certain square footage, so the contractor can put a pretty good bid forward to cover that cost. But it's also a tile with grout lines, and we may want to align it to a grout or something. Yeah, we just don't know the overall size of it and what it'll look like.
My name is Charles Roth. I own and operate UCS, a bespoke residential and commercial construction business based out of Manhattan.
So thanks, Chuck, for joining us for the walkthrough today.
You're welcome.
So I wanted to just walk you through a little bit of the space. I'm going to talk a little bit more about all of the more open public spaces, and then Tomek's going to take you into the back and talk a little bit more about specifically where the HVAC is going to be located and all of the more technical aspects of the project.
Okay.
So one thing, just as a general note, I don't like paint. So every wall is either going to be wall covering, wall paneling, or tiled for the most part, other than obviously paint on the ceilings. Starting at the entry, and I'm sure you saw in the renderings that we did, we really loved this curve, although not completely well executed. We really like the idea of it. So kind of spinning off of this, we wanted to create a coat closet here made out of millwork. And it's going to have a curve to it to kind of replicate what already is here. On the floor here, we're going to have this river rock tiling, which will be kind of cool. And then on the walls, we have full large scale slabs that are kind of ripped that we're going to do in this whole area. Okay. On this side of the wall, we have an electrical box. We are doing electrical upgrade, as you know. We are converting from gas to electric. So we're going to cap the gas, keep it there behind an access panel. Here, we're going to cut back the wall as far as we can and then kind of flip the electrical box on this side.
Okay.
Hi, my name is David. I'm the owner of Diamond Ever Construction. We've been in the business for over 32 years. We specialize in home remodeling, residential interiors throughout Manhattan.
And then as you move into the space here, this is our kitchen, which will remain the kitchen. We're going to do an L shape that's going to kind of die into the TV wall and fireplace that we're putting over there. So the fridge is going to remain in the same location. Obviously, it'll be panel ready, counter depth. Over here, we're actually doing an induction cooktop, and we're doing a hood. Whether it's vented out or not, we'll just see after demo if we have that ability to do that. As of now, it's just recirculating. Then over here is where we're going to have the dishwasher and the sink. And then this is going to go away. And then this will kind of carry on over as like a countertop, dying into a tall glass cabinet that kind of ends where our kitchen would be. Over here, we're going to have like kind of a plinth island. It's not going to be huge, but it'll be enough to kind of have trash and other types of storage and cabinetry. And then that's going to actually die into a dining table that will be custom. Whether that dining table is expandable, exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
This is,
And that's
okay,
like the little plinth.
Okay.
Right.
So
it's
it's going
like
to be a
about
portion
2
of it that's
feet.
going to pop up a little higher.
And then it'll kind of die down. And whether that's like rolling stone or whether it's stone that abuts to wood top, we're debating on the material of the tabletop. But as of now, we definitely know that this will be stone on top of here. And there's obviously stone on the countertop and the backsplash going all the way up.
Yeah.
So this dining table will kind of come out all the way to about here. We're still playing around with the ideas on finding the right mechanism to make it extendable for parties and entertaining and all of that. So in addition to the binder, we also provide the plans. With the plans, this is usually used on the walkthrough, which it was for our walkthrough. And there's a few things that when you do a contractor walkthrough, the biggest thing to start with is the fact that we do have contractors that we love working with, and then you could walk into any of their jobs and you're going to get the same quality of work. You're going to be able to work fairly and reasonably and cohesively with all the contractors that we bring to the table.
So in a sense, they're vetted.
They're vetted.
They're vetted. We
and-
know what kind of quality of work to
Correct.
expect, what kind of expediency on the job site.
Everybody has pros and cons.
We just have good
Yeah.
communication with these
Yeah.
particular contractors. However, we always encourage our clients to bring in contractors of their own because we want to keep the process fair. We want to make sure that our clients have the best price.
Hi, my name is Anthony from Pizza Construction. I'm the owner of the company. We are a general contracting firm here in New York City, and we specialize in contracting kitchens, bathrooms, full build-outs, and we also own a custom in-house mill workshop.
On this wall, the kitchen millwork will kind of die at the end into a glass tall cabinet and then transition into different millwork. This will kind of have low storage that will also die into a hearth cabinet, which will be here. For a fireplace, we'll do like tiling on the walls, probably a wooden panel. For the TV, we're going to have the same picture frame TV over here. And then kind of carrying this way, we do have steam heat. We are doing central air.
Okay.
Which is something that we were working with Mr. Cool on Derek. He actually specified a few pieces of equipment for us that are on the drawings and kind of his idea on how that would work for our apartment in like a cost-effective way. So that's also on there for you to kind of coordinate with and look at. But anyways, we do want to keep the steam heat. We just want to kind of resize it and then put it on this side of the column instead of having it over here.
Okay.
So that would be
Yeah, see the outlet, see that bump? Exactly.
Yes,
That
exactly.
pipe is running in there.
Correct.
So we can easily flip it to the other side. And we'll use like a cast iron baseboard here.
The governor, they have nice ones that attach to the wall.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they're small. Like we'll just use like a 2-foot section or something.
Yeah.
Just to supplement the heat a little bit, so that we're not spending money basically heating the
Exactly.
place.
Building provided anyway.
Correct. Yeah, that's fine. So the other thing is that we are right now. It's currently a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. We are creating a 3-bedroom, kind of the 3rd bedroom would be like an office size bedroom and a full bath, 2 full baths.
Okay.
So over here is where we have the current powder room. What we're doing is that the closet that's here, we're essentially flipping, putting here, shifting everything over, as well as shifting the entire hallway over slightly. Because this is a closet that will then go away, right? And that kind of all pushes back. The new entry into the bathroom would be through here, and then we would have the toilet, the sink, and the tub. because this will be for our son. So
Okay.
we want to do a tub-in.
So it's a smaller bathroom. We have an ADA sized bathroom in the off of the primary.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make this as small as possible.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's already a back outlet toilet, which helps when we do a wall mount toilet.
Well, exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
And
perfect.
if we can't get a tank into the wall, which I think we can because there's about 14 inches finish to finish.
Okay.
But if we can't, we'll just use a back outlet toilet.
Yeah. Ideally, wall mounted.
Yes,
Yeah.
ideally.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's that. And then Tomek, why don't you talk about how we're kind of finagling this? Because we're going to keep
Right.
all 3 windows here, but we are making a 3rd bedroom.
So Lindsay mentioned taking this closet off.
Mhm.
Basically, we're gonna end up with a corner about here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take this whole wall, we're gonna pull it out to meet the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And then another section of this wall is gonna come out another 20 inches or so,
Mhm.
and we're gonna put a closet on the other side,
Okay.
like a built-in closet. So we're gonna end up with, a corner that's about here, that's gonna come in, die back, and die into the window.
Mhm.
But then the windowsill is gonna come out and meet this new wall.
Okay, got
And
it.
then the sofa will be in front of it.
And then it's gonna push up against.
And that'll
this-
just
this
push up
new
against
surface.
it and kind of be an L shape.
Off of here, we're gonna have a millwork screen. It's either gonna be glass. Right now, we're planning on millwork slats type of situation that just kind of blocks
I
the
see.
entry into the bathroom.
So you don't guess, don't
It's like a
Yeah,
pet
so
peeve,
you're
like if you're sitting on the sofa, you
you're
don't
not-
wanna-
you're not seeing that.
you know,
see
like
the
looking.
door open because you're not gonna always leave it closed.
Correct. And it's be a pocket door, so it most likely will be kind of like
Open.
open most of the time
The
anyways.
ceiling here is dropped.
Mhm.
About half the apartment is dropped right now. We're planning on like a Mr. Slim split system that we're gonna
Okay.
hang outside of a window. But we're also gonna do cassettes that are recessed into the ceiling. So
Okay.
the ceiling's gonna drop a little bit to accommodate the cassette. Right now it's like a 6-inch drop, so
Mhm.
we're gonna add like another 3 inches to that to be able to get the headroom.
Okay.
And that won't be throughout, that'll only be where we're running those lines and it's gonna pop back up.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's gonna terminate kind of where the screen is
Mhm.
gonna stop.
And definitely look at the RCP when you get a chance because we are providing ceiling speakers in each room as
Okay.
well as a lot of cove lighting and like overhead lights. So
Mhm.
like in here we're doing a cove light to
Okay.
kind of conceal our shades into like a shade pocket.
Yeah, shape. Okay, got
And then
it.
have like a cove in the
We're gonna have
middle,
like an LED halo around
Yeah.
those spaces.
just like in the
Okay.
middle here
Got
of
it.
our living space.
Got it.
And I think that the biggest takeaway or things that I think are misconceptions on is like, okay, you're giving this like extremely detailed bid package, right? You have renderings, you have specifications, you have plans, you have all these things. And then you get back round 1 estimate. And then everybody's like, oh, okay, so this is the price. And it could be like way too much. It could be middle. It could be way too low. And I think that is kind of a lesson learned for a lot of clients is that they think that just because we send this out that we're going to get an accurate bid the first round, and it's never the case.
No.
No matter how long we've worked with contractors, it really is never the case.
Yeah.
There's always something, there's a misunderstanding or like, oh, they forgot this. Oh, I thought that was included. No, this wasn't included. Where's the stone? Like all of those things.
Because really the contractors are 90% in
The field,
in the field
working.
on the job site.
Yes.
So
That's what you want them
very
to do.
often these estimates, especially preliminary estimates, are put together quickly with kind of boilerplate assumptions, and so we do have to kind of go through and comb through, making sure that what's on the estimate matches the scope of work that we are
Correct.
putting forth on their drawings, and also kind of like through like what was revealed through the walkthroughs.
Yeah.
So it's a process that is multi-layered, and it's just never as good as the documents
No.
are, as much information as we provide from the start. It's never kind of a one and done. It
That's
always
right.
requires massaging. It always
Yes.
requires kind of making sure that everything's covered.
Ideally, you go from the big picture after round 1 and round 2 of bidding. You go from 5 contractors down to 2, ideally. And then with those 2 contractors, you kind of go back and forth and say, oh, wait, did you account for the toe kick lighting? Like macro to micro level of detailing, right? And so that's really what we're doing through that bidding process and helping you level the bids. Once we get down to the 2 contractors, we then set up interviews, face-to-faces with with our clients and with us, and then with the contractor, and we have the set of plans and we have their latest and greatest estimate, and we say, okay, this is what we want. Was this included? Was this included? And we mark up the plan. And then we say, please give us your best and final. And then that's usually when that comes back, we make the decision. But that could be round 3 or round 4 of going back and forth. And that process can take 6 weeks. Easy.
Yeah.
So my name is Ivan Volovenko. I am the owner of the construction company Ivanko Inc. We are licensed contractors working in New York City, and we specialized in renovation of high-end luxury apartments in the city.
So this is currently the full bathroom that is a tub that we're going to turn into a shower. This will ultimately turn into the primary bathroom. The depth of this kind of closet that we have here will now be on this side of the hallway. We'll use this up here for the amps, the Sonos amps, because we're going to have ceiling speakers, all that. As well as our AV closet, and then also additional storage on this side and on this side of the bathroom. The new entrance will be through here, which is currently our son's bedroom, but will now be our primary bedroom. So as you can walk in. So as you walk in here, we're taking we have 4 closets. See on this side too. So there's closets on the other side that we're basically taking these out and creating a large walk-in closet for ourselves made out of millwork. So the 2 closets, that's now going to be 1 closet for us, his and her situation. On this wall, we're doing wall paneling on the entire wall, and we're doing a hidden door. So that door going into the bathroom is going to swing in through a hidden door system. And then the remaining walls will be wallpaper. And Tomek, if you wanted to talk a little bit about the windows.
Yeah, so you saw the AC component, right? So basically that's a mini split system with ceiling cassettes. There's no air handlers inside, but they're all going to be cassettes recessed in the ceiling. The idea for the AC is to put it right outside this window so that we have access to servicing and we can swap it out as needed. So basically the bracket would sit underneath the sill and the AC would sit in front of it. This would go away, but we want to create a little bit of we want to bring some light in here, so we're thinking of turning that into a transom window. Right now, on the drawings, I have this bricked over and I have the coolant lines passing through there. This whole thing is a bricked over window. So I would just bring the coolant lines in a little lower and turn that into a window. It's not currently on the plans, but I'm telling you right now, it's something we just recently discussed doing. So
basically we can reach it without using scaffolding.
Oh yes.
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah. So
exactly.
we could probably get a couple of grapple hooks just to get the
Brackets.
just to get the bracket mounted, and the AC can just be mounted straight through the window onto the bracket.
Windows will be new or existing?
This one is going to remain. There's a couple of windows that were modified in the apartment to make room for window ACs, and
We'll
so
show
we
you
want to
that.
get those replaced.
Yeah. So this is, like I said, this will be our new primary bedroom. And usually we don't start this process of bidding and doing contractor walkthroughs until we receive back at least the first round of back and forth with your co-op board, because we want to know what are we allowed to do, what are we not allowed to do, and we want to make sure that we're not giving contractors multiple sets of drawings, what's in, what's out.
So to kind of reiterate, the building has a say.
Yeah.
The DOB certainly has a say
Yes.
in what gets put out.
And
What gets built.
your pocket has a say.
And your budget has a say. So
Right.
so it's to your benefit for us to put everything in from day one, which requires a lot more upfront work on our end. And however, it's a lot easier to kind of remove items from the scope
add.
than to add it.
It's better to wait for round 1 to come back to understand the variables of the building. And then from there, when we submit round 2 back to your co-op condo board, that's when we prep the bid set and start the walkthroughs. So it happens in tandem, so that ideally, by the time you get your co-op approval and getting ready to submit to DOB, you're honed in on at least 2 contractors prior to going into DOB, so that while you're in DOB getting reviewed and approval, that's when you select your contractor. And then everything aligns at that point.
My name is Irek Maslanka, company name A101 Construction Plus Design, located in Queens, Maspeth.
This wall here is basically staying in its location.
We're demoing, rebuilding it, but
yeah,
that wall will
but
be
that's
pushed.
portion of that is gonna be pushed, and then there's gonna be a wall that we're gonna build
And you see the blue
here,
tape.
kind of aligned with the door,
The
and
blue
then so
tape right
we're
there
gonna
is
have a
where
little
that-
office
that
here
wall
and a
is.
bedroom on this side.
So there's like a blue tape here that basically defines where this will be Remy's bedroom,
Office versus.
and then this will be like the office kind of secondary bedroom. The interesting thing that what we've been wanting to do is to do a Murphy bed in this other bedroom, but one of those ones that are kind of like elongating.
Yeah.
So that's why we accounted for the depth of that
Yeah.
to be here and not be in front of the window so that it would
So
fold
that
down.
wall, like I said, is gonna shift over into the living room a little bit to align with the window jamb,
Mhm.
and so there's gonna be a Murphy bed that's gonna be.
Kind
We're
of flips it
designing
that
the
way.
room to be the width of that Murphy bed, so that when we pull it down, it basically takes up the entire width of.
Basically combination office and guest.
Correct.
What
Yeah.
about heat source at that small one?
So this is gonna again get smaller, and it's gonna go here, and then we're gonna tap off, and then bring that
Wanted
steam
to
over
split
here.
that. Wanted to just kind of run a baseboard from this outlet and across both rooms, basically, or just split them, but it would be coming off of one outlet.
Understood.
So that's pretty much it. This is
And floor will be
Oh, yeah.
new throughout.
all throughout.
Yeah, because as you can see, there are different floors.
Yeah,
so
like this is
this
like-
floor was done at some point. This floor was put on top of that,
Yes.
and you can kind of see there's a level change. So we want to just pick all of this up, level as much as we can. We understand that this is like wooden joists that we're dealing with. So, because the rooms are kind of creating smaller compartments, we were not too worried about, being level across the entire apartment, but we definitely want to even out whatever we can, and pick up this.
With trying to relocate radiator, just keep in mind when you open the floor,
Yeah.
depends on how joists are going.
Yes.
You might be limited to making a holes through the joist to bring.
Well, I
the
don't want to make
direction.
holes. If anything, I'll run it up above the floor.
That's
Oh
all.
yeah, and then we
Okay.
can just
I don't-
account for it somewhere in like the sheetrock
Yeah,
or
I don't want to make holes. I don't want to notch the
They will
joists.
not even allow.
No.
Yeah.
So okay, so in terms of the construction of the building, this building is squeezed in between two larger buildings, and so this is the entire floor through this apartment. There's only 2 units per floor, so this is a party wall, and on the other side in the living room, it's a party
So it's
wall.
extremely quiet.
So you got joists running basically. I believe they're running this way, from here to here, but they're going to be tied back to the party wall. So just FYI,
Yeah.
I'd like to probe and see what we can get out of this. It seems pretty hollow across the entire apartment. I think it's an old building. There's going to be some hidden fireplaces that we'll discover, I think, on both sides. So I definitely want to peel some of this off and possibly
So
rebuild.
as far as demo, we should consider getting all of the gypsum board out.
Everything
yeah,
is demo.
Yeah,
It's
we want to
like
we want to see
thermal
underneath.
insulation.
We want to
everything must go.
yeah,
Everything must go.
We want
We'll
to
do
bug proof,
fresh.
rodent proof, everything. We kind of want to
Yeah.
like insulate everything and
Yeah.
cap off whatever we don't.
It's
need.
also easier and cleaner moving forward instead of trying to piecemeal and keep
Yeah.
some things. Like there's no need to like keep
especially
a
if we're like
wall
leveling
or-
floors and stuff like that. We
Yeah.
want to just get everything off and just have access to all the.
Yeah. All right, well, this concludes our episode of the contractor walkthroughs and bidding. Usually at this point, even with clients, we take kind of like a little bit of a pause because we get ready to make our decisions and start ramping up for a construction start date. So the next time we see you will be once we've selected a contractor and getting ready for starting construction.
Yes, and it is the end of the year, so we want to wish everybody a happy holiday season. And there's also some changes coming for us that we wanted to make you guys aware of. This is the last time we'll be filming out of this location. We are actually changing offices, so we'll be starting the new year at a new location with a new set of videos and hoping to see you guys there.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.